Hey, Grace Church, Michael Campbell here, family pastor at Grace Church. Hey, going through this Sunday's lesson and how we prepare the kids is super important. How we prepare our hearts as parents and guardians and how we lead our children into the Sunday lesson is important because we want to know and intentionally disciple our children. And so this Sunday we are going through the whole story of Ruth. And the story of Ruth is an incredible story. Like, we see how gracious and how good that God is. We see the providential care that God has for a woman who wasn't even Jewish. Like, she was from Moab, a descendant from Lot, not even a child of Abraham. Yet she became a recipient of God's promise to Abraham because salvation is a gift and to be received by faith. And so Ruth was married to a Hebrew man who unfortunately died. And so it was Mahlon and Chilion. She returned to Israel from Moab with her mother-in-law. Ruth was an outsider, a woman without a husband in a land that wasn't her own. And so Ruth was vulnerable. But what we see, like, so beautifully in her story is that God protected her and provided for her. In the middle of a famine, God provided food to sustain Ruth and Naomi. And God did more than that too. He ultimately provided a husband who redeemed her and saved her from destruction. And Ruth is a picture of what it looks like to trust in God in the hard seasons of life. Like, the story of Ruth is the story of us, of you and me. Like, we are outsiders who have no hope in a world cursed by sin. But God didn't leave us that way. He actually provided a way for us, and that sustains us and ultimately redeems us through the person and life of Jesus Christ. So Ruth brought nothing to her relationship with Boaz, but she brought her need. And Boaz saw Ruth, and he loved her, and he redeemed her. And so from this loving act of redemption, it was from the family of their great-grandson that Jesus would come into the world, and in his great love would redeem all who put their trust in him alone. God shows us his desire to redeem all those who belong to him, including Ruth in the lineage of Jesus, which is crazy. Remember that in Jesus, we have hope no matter how hopeless our situation looks. Jesus is more than just a friend. He is our Redeemer completely. And it's a beautiful picture because Boaz, his mother, was Rahab from Jericho, who was not a Christian at all until she heard about the truths of what God was doing, protected and saved Israel. And God used her in her life. She fathered Boaz. Boaz fathered Ruth. And then, as it goes, great-grandson of David, who again prophesied through the lineage of Jesus, and how God weaves the entire scripture together is so beautiful. And so that's what we're going over this Sunday. Check out the rest of the thread for more questions, discussion points that you can bring up with your children and grandchildren. But we are grateful for you, praying for you always. God bless, and take care.